The focus right now, of course, in this story is on the rescue and recovery near Reagan National Airport. And that's what we're seeing in these early morning hours as we look at these live pictures from the Potomac River. But this video of the impact between the two aircraft might provide some clues for the investigators. We're joined now by former NTSB chairman, that's Robert Sumwalt, the CBS News transportation safety expert and analyst. Bob, it's really good to see you this morning. You know what I keep thinking? What is really haunting me is these families who were waiting at the airport. As Tony reported, they had been told that the flight landed, and then the next thing you know, you get a text from your wife that says, listen, landing in 20 minutes. Then the next thing, you're led into a lounge with other passengers. I keep replaying that in my mind over and over, and it's just heartbreaking to me. But you know very well how these investigations go. How do they even begin? What do they need to look for right away? And thank you for joining us this morning.
Well, Gayle, good morning. Obviously the top priority of the first responders at this point is the recovery operations. Meanwhile, they will be, once the divers can get in there, they're really going to be trying to find those black boxes. Now, from the air traffic control, from the NTSB's perspective, there's a lot they can do without getting those black boxes. They will start arranging for the air traffic control tapes to be secured, the radar tapes, arranging interviews. So those are the first steps that the NTSB will be taking this morning.
You know, it was reported that the air traffic control was in contact with the Army helicopter, and at one point it said, do you see the plane? Do you see the American Airlines plane? What, if anything, does that communication tell you?
Well, that's a routine communications. Anytime you have two airplanes close together, they will then go to visual separation. The real question, of course, is why did that visual separation break down to this disaster that we have right now?
We've seen photos of the wreckage that's floating in the water. When you look at those images, do they tell you anything?
Well, one of the things is that we've heard that the depth of the water is only about 8 feet. So that stands to reason that the wreckage would actually be sitting on the river bottom and appearing to be floating, but it's actually sunk. But there's just not a lot of water depth.
Let's talk about Reagan National in particular. Listen, they have commercial flights there. They have private planes. They have military planes. They have police planes. So there are a lot of different planes flying in a very small space. What can you tell us about the nuances of flying in and out of Reagan in particular? It's a very busy place.
It's a very busy airport. My office, when I was at the NTSB, it faced the river, faced the airport, and routinely you would see helicopters going up and down the river, as Chris mentioned, below 200 feet. So I think really what they're going to find out is, who is in the wrong position. Those pilots of the airplane, they were busy turning at very low altitude to line up with the runway. They're focused on getting the airplane safely on the ground. They're not going to be at that point looking for traffic because they should be in a traffic-free environment at that point.
Yeah, one more thing before you go. There have been so many stories in the news about near misses in the skies. Does this say to you that there is a serious problem in our aviation system, or is this just a very isolated incident? I know we've got a good record of flying with no accidents.
Well, I think the accident record does speak for itself. And Tony said luck. I would like to think, I was an airline pilot. I've been an aviation safety professional for many, many years. I think it's more than luck. It's a result of good technology, of good training, of good equipment. It's a lot of things that have come together that have allowed our air traffic control and our airline system to work as safely as it has. Unfortunately, obviously something broke down yesterday, and the real challenge right now is to find out what happened so we can keep it from happening again.
All right, Robert Sumwalt, that's the thing. Keep it from happening again. So many questions still. Thank you so much.